All right. All right, welcome back to the SPURZ and SPREADZ podcast. We still got these two jackasses, Chaz Brown and Patrick Castman, with us here today. We got a special guest on here today. Funny man. I don't know what we call him. Comedian, actor, man. He does a lot. He is Trent Ellis. I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram, Facebook, all social media profiles, but this guy is everywhere. He's got a handle at Trent_Ellis21 on Instagram. That's where I follow him the most. And guys, I definitely go check him out. He's good stuff. But Trent, how you doing today, man?
Good. I'm wore out. Like I said, I've been trimming an old post oak outside the house right now, so it's a job. But yeah, doing good, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of some of the stuff, like just the basic stuff I'm interested in. Like, where are you from? Where I know you're a Mississippi guy. We're Mississippi guys. What part of Mississippi are you from?
So northeast Mississippi. I grew up in a small town called Manatee.
Know exactly where it is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that small town of about 1,300 people.
Yeah.
I was born and raised. And then now we live in the same county, but now we live in Fulton. So
okay.
That's about, it's in the same county. It's about 20 minutes away.
Yeah. We got some people up in Fulton. We know, but that's where I lived in, like Columbus for 13 years. Chaz is from Columbus, and Patrick there lives in Caledonia right now.
Nice.
I'm currently in Madison. I moved. They all hate me because I moved a few years ago. But
you big.
No.
Can't keep up with him now. Can't get on his schedule now.
No, not at all. But man, look, some of the things that I was interested in too, talking with you, and I think the audience would be interested in is, like, I don't know. Just one day I found you on it. I mean, you're everywhere, but I mean, how'd this whole thing get started? What made you decide, hey, I'm gonna start making some funny videos and put them on the internet? And when did it kind of blow up, and kind of to take it to the next level? When did you decide to do that as well?
It's kind of a long story. I tell you, well, first of all, when I graduated high school, I joined the Marines, and that's where I met my wife. So my wife, her and I'd say 7 to 10 folks from Manatee within about a 4-year span of one another. We all joined the Marine Corps, moved out. Most of us got stationed besides one guy. We all got stationed on the west coast of Camp Pendleton. And same thing happened with her and her bunch in Walla Walla, Washington, where she's from. They didn't join the military, but they all just kind of banded together and said, hey, we want to move out to San Diego and start living our lives as 20-year-old people, So a buddy of mine in the Navy had me over to his house one day and said, hey, man, my girlfriend is moving out of her house. I need y'all to come by and help us move some stuff. And Bree was her roommate, her best friend at the time, her roommate at the time. And we met there. And ever since then, got together and about a year and a half later got married and moved back to Mississippi. I got out of the Marines, moved back to Mississippi. And that ties in to your question. So we moved back, went to college, went to Mississippi State for forestry. She graduated with forestry and wildlife. I graduated with a degree that's worthless. Okay, it's interdisciplinary studies. I changed mine from forestry when I started selling insurance and doing finance. I said, well, I'm just going to do this. The heck with forestry. So I just said, I'm just going to get something online that I can say that I didn't waste 3 years of my life for. But
so you're an insurance guy?
Huh?
You're an insurance guy?
I was. Okay. So I work for the same company. I work with the same company now. But back in 2021, I got my investment license. I got a Series 6.
Yeah.
This is what's funny when people ask me. Because they're like, you do investments? What? Like, I got full sleeve tattoos, long hair. I mean, I say stuff. I mean, some of my videos are questionable as to what I'm wearing. And they're like, you manage money? But no,
absolutely.
It's I got back in 2021. I got a Series 6, a 63 license, and a 63 license to allow me to invest people's money funds, whether it's IRAs or just liquid accounts. And then I got my Series 26 right after I started posting in August or September of last year, which allows me. It's a principal's license. It allows me to supervise other investment licensed personnel.
Gotcha.
And that business enabled me to do what I do now, because starting off in just insurance, when you just sell insurance, I don't know if you guys ever did that before.
That is exactly what we do now. We are insurance guys. Yeah. So,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it
exactly
sucks when you start off. It's like nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to give you referrals. Nobody wants to talk about insurance. No. And it's a grind, you know, and that kind of the Marine Corps in itself toughened my skin. I had a very traditional background upbringing to where my daddy told me and my brother once, and there was no such thing as timeout. All right. It was followed by the cane train if you didn't listen, you know. And the Marine Corps kind of just added on to that. And then when I started getting into insurance, then that really taught me, you know, how to sell myself and how to be okay with no, and just look at everything, not your clients per se, but look at everything from a success stat as volume and numbers, you know. Talk to enough people, somebody's going to buy.
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. And then when I got investment license, see, I haven't written insurance. Good Lord. I haven't written an insurance application in a long time. I've mainly been doing investments. That's what I love to do. My dad, he's been a swing trader for 30 something years. And he just went full time with it. Matter of fact, this past month, but
no kidding.
But the insurance part toughened my skin and got me where I need to be to study for the Series 6, 63, 26, all that. And all of that combined, I was sitting in a school. I'm not going to say the district because I actually do a 403B for this district.
Yeah, we get it.
But I was sitting in a school and I was in the conference room waiting on teachers to come by and everything. And I had a pretty rough month, you know, pretty rough quarter as far as, you know, not really getting anything and putting a lot of miles on the road, and just not really getting anything. And I had been wanting to do something like this for a long time. And I had just seen a podcast short of Justin Nunley. Do y'all know who that guy is?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the rest of y'all, timeout. We got Patrick. Where's your names at? So everything popped off here.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Adam.
I don't know why I did that. Oh, that's when I did this. Okay.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Adam and
Chaz.
That's the coolest one. Okay. Good. All right. So you guys, Justin Nunley, he does that where he basically just walks in front of a camera and he's got a goofy clip playing first or whatever, or, you know, a hot girl or whatever. And then it comes off. He walks into it and is like, did you know that, you know,
I do know what you mentioned.
Okay, yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I saw a short. This has been last August of 2023. I saw a short that was dated for the summer of 2022. So this is already a year past this. Talking about the money he was making and everything. And I was like, man, I'm not as good as that guy. I'm not as funny as that guy, but I could do something, I think, to capture an audience and make a little bit of extra money. And the insurance, the investment world, the financial world, all of that previously it just kind of made me go, what have I got to lose? You know, all of my clients that have a lot of money with me, that have I'd say 99% of them, you know, ones that's got a lot and ones that's got a little. I got them myself. My company did not say, here, Trent, here's these leads.
That's right.
I went out and got every one of them. They know me on a personal level.
Yeah.
Whether I got them and solicited them or whether they were a referral, And I'm like, if they look at what I start doing and decide to go somewhere else, maybe that relationship wasn't meant to be long lasting anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the Lord is kind of leading me to do some of this stuff and have fun with it and just see where it goes. And
man, we can relate to that. I mean, just even doing this stuff. It's like, what are people going to think? What if But I mean, I think if anything, it's boosted the popularity. It's helped my business. Have you found that that it's helped you? I mean,
so I started. Let's see, August the 23rd or the 20. I think it's the 24th of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I started posting videos, posting funny reels and everything.
Yeah.
I want to say by October, I had maybe 20 or 30,000 followers on Facebook, somewhere in that range on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I started questioning myself. I didn't lose any clients, but I just started like, well, I wonder if this is going to push, because I had, like, right before I started posting, I just done like a, $250,000 investment for somebody. And I'm like, I wonder what they're going to think. I'm sitting over here saying this crap. And I'm acting like I'm taking a dump in my bathroom, and I kid you not, guys, like the very next month I think a lady reached out to me, commented on the fact that she liked my videos. And I ended up doing like a total of $550,000 investment for her. And that was my biggest trade at the time, or not trade, but investment. And I was like, well, heck, this kind of solidifies it right here that the people that's got good sense, that, they're not going to leave me. They're going to see that it's a joke. I'm not an idiot. And
that's it. I mean, you gain your professionalism behind the desk, right? So like, we know a little bit and I mean, I think you find that Mississippi people, though, like, there's still Mississippi people, the people that we're dealing with. I think we all have this big image that we have to be suit, tie, pocket square, all that to do investments and do. No. I think most Mississippi people are like me and you. They want to deal with other Mississippi people. They want to deal with like-minded people. And if they can't, like you said, if they can't get over that in their head, like, maybe it wasn't meant to be long-term anyway.
Well, and I had a mentor that told me that, Desmond Martin. He told me, he said, this is going to, what did he call it? Make you real, relatable in other people's eyes, in your clients' eyes, and your prospects, whatever. It's going to make you, real, instead of just being known for, the investment guy around town. You're the guy that's funny. You're the outdoorsman. You're the hunter. They can relate to you. So that's actually going to help your business a little bit more. And, but to answer your question that you asked 11 minutes ago, that financial world, gave me, if I hadn't have been in finance, I'd have never done this, because my skin would have been too soft. I've been too worried about what people are thinking of me when I post. I'd have been too worried, about progression. And I just told my wife, I said, listen, I'm going to do this for 7 days. And if I don't hate it and I want to do more, regardless of what happens monetarily or following, wise, I'm going to do more. And if at the end of the 7 days, I'm like, screw this, I hate this, this sucks. It's 7 days. And then, after those 7 days, it was good. So kept doing it.
That brings me to something else. I mean,
so like, 1 second, let me close this door. You keep talking.
So you said, if I do it for 7 days and if I hate it, right? I mean, to come up with the material that you come up with, I think people think, oh, he's just shooting some stuff on, no. Just to make a consistent post on a every day basis takes a ton of creativity to do the ones that you're doing. And I got a few I'd like to point out later. But I mean, you get fatigued, you get like that. You're like, God, what am I going to do today?
So you probably hear him in the background, and you will shortly.
Mine's knocking on the door in my office right now, actually. He just says, Dad, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, go do the podcast. Leave me alone.
No, we haven't gotten to that stage yet, but he'll be 2 in 5 days. And as y'all know, having young kids, something pops off all the time. You got to do this, you got to do that.
Yes.
And there we go. And I used to get like what I started doing and what I ended up doing until last Monday was just every day I'd wake up and I'd say, hey, what am I going to do today? What kind of video am I going to do? And typically it would take me, anywhere between 5 minutes to 30 minutes to figure out what I want to do. And then 30 to 40 to film it and edit it and all that kind of stuff. Unless I want like a 2-3 character skit where I'm changing shirts and hats and all that. That kind of got overwhelming because there's only been in the last 8-9 months, maybe 3 days that I haven't posted anything. And I'm a big believer in consistency. So I kind of got to thinking about, how could I do this to where it's more organized, to where it's more long-term, and
sustainable. Yeah.
Sustainable. And so last Monday I said, I'm going to film 7 shorts, 7 skits, because that's what my audience likes. They don't care about me going to Texas and shooting a 44 Marlin. They like me talking about the hunting niche. They like me being goofy and stuff like that. I said, I'm going to feed them. So last Monday I had like 14 different outfits laid out. And it took me, I want to say, from 9:30 to 5:30. I filmed 7, and I just did it yesterday. Yesterday, I was on the chainsaw a little bit, first part of the morning, and then about 11 o'clock, I started filming, and I didn't get done until about 7-ish, 7:30. But, if I've got one day to where I'm working my tail off with this, how many people would trade that? How I would have traded that when I was dead broke, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, if I can work 8 hours in one day, even if I have to do that for the rest of my life, man, that is a retirement living right there.
Sounds good. Yeah. No doubt.
So that's kind of helped. Now on Mondays, I'm fatigued at the end of it because I'm trying to be very belligerent and eccentric in every single video and all that. But Monday I'm fatigued, but throughout the week, what I've started doing is if I have an idea pop up, I just go to my notes section of my phone and throw it in there and try to have as many ideas as possible.
You got processes for this whole thing that you're not just winging it every time. I'm sure there is a lot of winging it, but you have a plan. And
Adam, to be honest with you, dude, like up until a week ago, it was all winging.
Winging it, yeah.
It's just waking up and getting after
it. That's kind of what makes it good, though, right? It makes it genuine. It makes it real. Like, I think talking about what Chaz was bringing up, he said, he's almost an actor. He was like, look.
That's what I said. I said, what do you call him? I said, I think he's damn near an actor. Because he's doing skits where he's acted all in the same clip.
There was one when you were like, you're acting like
I believe he's an actor.
Yeah, there's one you were acting like you were a podcaster or something. You were interviewing your brother-in-law, and I was just, man,
that's what we're doing.
That cracked me up. Like I related to that. I was like, that's funny. Yeah, that's good. I love. We're huge. Obviously, we deer hunt, we do all that, but really we turkey hunt. That's what we do. Yeah, that's our thing. That's what we love to do. We go all over the country. We have our little. We just got back from Wisconsin, Nebraska, and I saw that you went to Oregon, and where all did you go?
This year, I killed one here, killed one in West Virginia with the Untamed, killed one in Kansas with Final Destination Outfitters, Matthew Newton, and then I went to Oregon. We went to Washington. We stay in Washington with her family in Walla Walla, and then the Oregon border is literally 5 minutes from their driveway. So I hunt in the Oregon mountains. I killed one, missed one, killed one, and missed one.
It happens, Chaz.
Oh, God.
Chaz didn't catch
you calling out me this year? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we had a big time, man. And I learned, with turkey hunting, I started turkey hunting probably, it's 17. I want to say 8 years ago. And my uncle Sean, he was the one that got me and my older brother into deer hunting. And he can hunt anything, but his pride and joy is deer.
Yeah.
So that's what he taught us. And he taught my brother more than me. And then my brother and I, my brother is the one that taught me and got me into it. And but once I got about 15, I started duck hunting, and then I started hearing people talking about turkey hunting, and then I was like, well, hey, I think once I was about 16 or 17, I think the year before I joined the Marines, I went on my first turkey hunt, and it was with my Uncle Sean. Didn't kill anything, had a hen come up. But when I got out of the Marines, when I was back in 2014, 2015, me and my brother went, and that was our first time really going, was when we went together. We didn't know nothing. We barely knew how to yelp.
Yeah.
And we ended up hearing birds gobble. We called some jakes in on us to like 5 or 6 steps.
And at that point, when you first get started, that's the coolest thing you've ever done.
And dude, I called turkeys up. Like I'm it.
Yeah.
I'm as good as you are, Not mention they're jakes.
Yeah. You don't know.
Adam doesn't mind. Adam
would have peeled that hen and that jake's scalp.
We don't call him Trigger. We don't call him Trigger for no reason.
Don't listen to that.
You don't discriminate. It's all beard right, ain't it? It's
that's shot.
Or a gobbler.
He always shoots the beards off.
Yeah, shot.
Well, yeah,
that's what Rigby said. Who shot the spurs off?
Yeah. Well, that was when I kind of really fell in love with it and thought, well, I need to, I got to figure out a way to do this. But I didn't have nobody to take me. So, I mean, literally, when I got out of the Marines, I was like, I am going to get good at turkey hunting. I'm going to kill a bird. And I killed, I think it was it this year? I think it was this year. I killed my first private land bird. And I started off on public, and it took me about 4 years. Well, yeah. So from the time that we hunted in the Marines, that was 2015. I think I killed my first bird April the 18th, I want to say, at about 3:30 p.m. on public here. And called 2 gobblers in. I was with a buddy of mine at the time. He had never really been
Mississippi public land bird hunting. It doesn't get any harder than that.
Yep.
You learn how to do it there, you good. You can
and ever since, like, when I dropped that bird, it just it was in me. And I was like, I've got to figure out how to do it and get better and better. And
you talking to 3 people who can relate to that statement you just said. I promise you, it is like that's what one of the buddies of Scott says. He said, Chaz took me hunting for my first time. He said, Chaz, you might as well just gave Adam a crack rock when you took him turkey.
Yeah. And it's gotten so bad it's in my little boy, because every morning when we get up, I put on deer hunting typically. If it's turkey season, I put on turkey hunting.
Absolutely.
And we were watching the Drurys this morning, and we wasn't watching them 30 seconds. And he's sitting there sucking on his chocolate milk, and he pops it out, and he's like, watch turkey hunting? Watch turkey hunting? I'm like, you want to watch turkey hunting? He's like, yeah, watch turkey hunting.
Yeah,
goes right back to it. I turn it on there, and it's all she wrote. So,
that's great. That's good. We talk about it all our podcasts. I think it seems like we always end up talking about the kids. We're firm believers in taking the kids. We think we're a dying breed. There's not people like so. I mean, Chaz and Patrick and I all have young children too, so we can relate to what you're saying a lot. Yeah. But you talk about having, just kind of winging it here as well. Didn't have a good plan coming in. But you talk about you killed your first private land bird this year. Do you feel like, because of the popularity, have you picked up more access? I mean, you got opportunities to hunt with these folks in West Virginia. Was that because of the popularity you've gotten off of social media?
Solely.
Gotcha.
The Jay from the Untamed reached out to me. So I went and hunted with him. and Josh and Zach and Matthew Newton at Final Destination Outfitters reached out to me, and we were able to work out a good deal to where I could come out there to Kansas and hunt at his place. And yeah, that's solely.
Yeah, I've seen those guys. Now, I think I saw the Final Destination guys. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just thinking out loud.
No, that's it. Everything pretty much everything in this company right here, Monarch Hunting Products, Corey Lear, his company, he reached out to me in February. And that was, I'm trying to think, that was the first time somebody had reached out to me that had invited me out to hunt. And I was kind of weary about it because, you know, when you grow up and you're just, you know, average middle class America, you know, good old country boy.
Yeah.
You just and then you get an invite that says, hey, why don't we come out here to Texas? We'll let you shoot hogs, deer, you know, all this ain't gonna cost you nothing. You know, it's just kind of like there's a lot of crazy going on in the world. And
it's like my grandpa told me it's too good to be true. It probably is. Yeah. It's
right.
Right.
Yeah. But I told him, I said, he's like, we'd love to have your family out here. And I said, well, I don't know you. I said, you could be crazy. So I'm just going to come myself. Try it out.
I'm going to test you out first. Yeah.
We'll go from there. You know, if everything's on the up and up. He's like, man, I get it. So Corey's actually, since February, end of February, Corey's been to my house twice.
No kidding.
I've been out there twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Texas and do the Texas Hunters Extravaganza. I think it's what it is in August with him. You know, and, you know, so we've actually become friends, good friends, and going to be able to do some business together. So yeah, I'm very thankful about all this kind of stuff because, you know, I've gotten to meet a lot of really cool people, really good people, just because of it. And, you know, it's one of those things. I'm just going to try to keep on keeping on. I'm not really trying to reach out to anybody to say, hey, you know, can I do this? Can I do that? I'd rather. I always grew up, you know, Daddy was always like, you don't ever invite yourself nowhere, son.
That's right.
Brag on yourself. You don't ever invite yourself nowhere. You let other people do that.
That's right.
And I've just kind of been like, well, if it cuts itself off in a year from now, you know, hey, I'm still gonna hunt. I'm still gonna post some goofy stuff. I'm still gonna do me, and let the Lord do with it what He will. So,
and Trent, where are you at on your social? What resonates to me is you've been doing it such a short amount of time. Sounds like your time frame. Where are you at on your social media following right now across all platforms?
Probably around 230. I've got 120.8 on Facebook, about 94 and a half on TikTok. Instagram's like 27.2 and YouTube's about 7. Let's see. I want to say it's about 7.5 or no, never mind. I've had a recent video do really good on there, so I've got about 8,000 on there. So, yeah, probably about that 230, 240 mark altogether.
Congratulations on that.
Man,
That's a lot in a little amount of time. Because didn't you say that you started this last year? Wasn't that right?
That's August, end of August.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not 10 months.
So when we ran into him at NWTF, he was brand new.
Oh, he's brand new.
Yeah.
And I knew
first
when
coming
I saw
out,
him,
I guess, you know.
But I just noticed, I was like, I just saw something on that guy. That guy's funny. I can't remember if it was
Adam's the icebreaker. He's the icebreaker.
Yeah, I'm
Me and Chad trying to get us checked in. Adam just takes off.
You know, insurance guys, we ain't afraid to talk to nobody.
That's right. Hey, I get it.
That's what I was telling Trent before it happened. Said we just saw Adam cut out, and then
what's he doing?
I was like, oh, okay, he's getting somebody lined up. He mentioned Trent. I was like, I don't know who that is. I wasn't thinking about it. I come back and I'm on the way home from the NWTF scrolling, and I see this funny episode that he had posted. I was like, damn, we got to get that. I said, you talked to him? I said, yeah, getting him on,
That's-
getting him on for
Yeah,
sure.
he was just coming through the NWTF hotel. I can't even remember, what is it, Gaylord or something. The big thing that costs like $100 for a slice of pizza and a beer. But yeah, we were there, and then I see you and your family just coming in. I guess you've got the little stroll, and you probably went through that parking extravaganza that we had just gone through, if I had to guess. Trying to park.
It was terrible.
Chaz paid. We conned some. FYI, we Chaz bribed some whatever you call it, valet guy. What'd you give him like for? We said, how much is it going to take for the valet to be open?
It's closed. It's closed.
$40.
Like, I've been coming out
money
here
talk.
This ain't closed.
Yeah.
It's a negotiation here. So what we got to pay?
Yeah.
That guy, I rolled the window down. The valet guy goes, "Oh man, valet's full." And I kind of looked at Chaz. Chaz said, "How much would it cost for it to be unfull?" And I looked over at him. He goes, "I'll be right back." I handed over $40, and Chaz looked at me. He said, "That's what I thought."
That's
we
awesome.
strolled right in. Yeah.
But it was
awesome. Does
when
what it takes.
Oh yeah. You just got to do what you got to do. Yeah, that's how it works. That's what we all used to be, car guys. Before, that's kind of how. Well, me and Chaz got together a long time ago. It's kind of how we got to know Patrick, was through the car business, and But so we've all been in sales. You talk about breaking ice, and that's something I want to point out with you though about what you do. A guy from all the followers you got, all the views you got, guy from Manatee, Mississippi. It didn't just happen by chance. You didn't just kind of do. You've put a lot of work into it. Yeah, you've been winging it, but you're a guy who had the skill set already, where you're not afraid. You're not afraid to put yourself out there, because that's the biggest thing, I think. Even doing what we're doing, I mean, you're real confident at first, and then all of a sudden you start second guessing yourself. Right? You have those moments, and salesmen. We all have that same thing. It's that funny feeling you get in your stomach right before you ask somebody for their business, right before you ask somebody for whatever, an investment, whatever it is. And I've always taught my people that you got to learn to ignore that. It's the same thing. That's what you kind of had to do. And you just keep pushing, and you've been confident the whole time. And what you're doing, man, is funny as I don't know what. I actually just watched one where you were acting like you were a turkey, and you were strutting around in a circle when y'all were in a gang or whatever, and you fight over the hand. That was as funny a video to me as you got. I think I sent that to the guys earlier. I said, y'all, this is who we're talking to.
We're going backwards. We have about 13 followers on Instagram, and they just found out we were ex-used car salesmen. We're down to 7 now. We lost half our followers already.
No, we started.
I like it, man. How long have y'all been doing podcasting?
Dude, we've been doing this about the same. I mean, probably 3 weeks before I saw you at the NWTS thing. We had just started the whole deal, and we know some people in the industry, which kind of got us into it. But we also do sports, and we know some coaches in the SEC and stuff like that. We'd like to get on. So later, this thing will transition more into sports. But
that's cool.
It's just something we were doing for fun, and kind of like, what's our goal? What's our end goal here? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, best case scenario, me and Chad just hoping to get some access to some more hunting land, which we already have, So
that's what we come up with at my house. Oh, our wives were sitting there. It's like, well, let's just see if we can get some kind of discount for going to these outfitters, or something like that. But we ended up talking during the turkey season for sure, and during SEC football season, we talked on the daily about, hey, who we taking and lines and spreads, and then we circle back around and we talk turkey hunting every day. Like when we go, because of our careers, we set ourselves up to where we can hunt probably 4 days a week, 3 or 4 days a week during the season. So
yeah.
We said it, and then we're talking the whole way back. Hey, man, did you get one? Well, what happened? Well, this is what happened this time. We just got to BSing all around it. And we just said, well, let's just start recording it, and let's tell our story, and that's kind of where we're at.
It kind of took a hiatus during turkey season, though. We were all too darn, we call it turkey tired.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. Yeah, I think you know exactly what I'm saying when you do it. When you've gone for 4 days in a row, and then it starts getting later, and you got to drive an hour and a half, and you got to be there before daylight. Yeah, you're getting up at 3:30 every day, and then you're actually going to work. and getting that done. It'll get on you. But
I'm just glad I got somebody else I can talk to about investments instead. I can shop.
No.
Come on over here, Patrick.
Yeah, here we go. Now hold on, we're going backwards. Yeah,
Trent's
podcast is taking a turn, baby.
He's gonna say, "Look, man, I'm just."
yeah.
No, I think. I mean, well, just looking at y'all's stuff. I mean, y'all got a great background. Everyone, Patty wins it, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, even though you got the American flag. You know,
America. That's right.
Chaz has got the 3 in the back, but I mean, you got the wood, you got the TV. He's got
turkey.
He's got a whole turkey shack out there, Trent. You got to come see it. He's got we call it the turkey shack out there.
Yeah,
turkey hut.
Yeah,
turkey hut.
Well, I mean, y'all been doing this for just a few months. I mean, you got great mics, great headphones. Me and my buddy Caleb Morin, we started a podcast a while back called Just Your Average Hunter, and I swear we've got to change the logo. He put a dadgum 160-inch buck, a guy holding a 160-inch deer, and the title going through it is Just Your Average Hunter, and I'm like,
yeah, that's not
idiots. Or it's a comedy show, and it ain't, so, but we talked about that same thing. Like, what do we want from this? Obviously, we want money. We want longevity. We want money. That's why anybody does anything from a guy's standpoint, as a career, and, but I heard Joe Rogan say last week, somebody asked him, how long did it take for the podcast to pay for itself? And he said 5 years. He said,
and people knew him before he started doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he also had a bunch of people telling him your episodes are way too long. You gotta shorten it down. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. And he's like, you can go F yourself.
That's right.
If you don't like it, don't listen to it. Don't
listen. That's right.
And me and Caleb literally said the same thing y'all did. We were over there eating supper one night, talking deer hunting like we always do. And I think he was the one that said, dude, we need to do a podcast. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it, baby. Let's go.
Why not?
Why not? Let's go. And, so, I mean, if it takes us 10 years to get enough of a following, enough of a listening, to where we can actually make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's better than just sitting there not doing it and not seeing what happens.
Because you never know. Like your 7 day, I'm gonna give it 7 days, see what happens.
Yeah.
You already got a phone. We got these $80 microphones. We spent $100, $200 a piece on the logo.
Yeah.
Full time. Which we do that, like Chaz was saying, we do this anyway. It's just not us repeating it. Let me get off the phone with Adam and call Chaz and ask Chaz about what he's up to.
That's all we do is run our yaps anyway. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, it's. I think above everything, it comes down to being consistent. I mean, because we've got people on social media that have a following, video recording themselves sleep for 8 hours a night. I mean,
I've seen it. Y'all watch ever get on that TikTok live mess and see?
Pretty much.
What are we doing?
The rules are, if you have a pulse and you can put out content long enough, you can make a career out of it. Or an additional income. I mean, it just comes, to consistency. But Justin Nunley told me, he said, Trent, you never compare yourself or your channel to anyone else's, even if it's just like someone else's. Never compare your channel, your following, your views, your time that you've been doing it, the time they've been doing it, the money you're making, the money they're making. I mean, it's literally just like what we've all done in sales. Like, you can't sit there and look at the top guy in the company and say, man, it must be nice, or man, he did it in 2 years, and I've been at this for 3.5. What the heck's going on with me?
That's right.
I mean, you just can't do that, because that's just going to kill production, kill that consistency, and eventually I mean, the only reason that I have a following on Facebook is because one old video, I think it was like a month old, went off and did like, it set at like 2,000 or 3,000 views for a few weeks. And then all of a sudden it just bam, went off and got over 1 million. And then from there, I kind of had momentum, you know?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
So that was the one where I had one of the deer that I've got mounted. I had it in the back of the boat, just the antler sticking out. And I was walking up to the boat, and this was actually accident, but I was walking up to the boat and I hit the antlers with my arm, and the antlers slid down a little bit. And when I did that, I looked down, and it was a 2-character skit, and I can't even remember what the skit was necessarily about. It may have been about guided hunts or high fence hunts or something like that. But that video, I did that, and like I said, like it was 3 or 4 weeks old before it took off.
How many did it end up reaching? How many views?
I think it went over maybe 1 million, 1.5 million.
Yeah,
something like that. It was my first like super big video because I woke up and I had all these notifications. I had 2,000 more followers, and I'm just like, where did this come from? I'm kind of looking back and I'm like, what? You know, so that was my first example of like a delayed explosion, you know?
Yeah. It can happen anytime. It's weird how it, like you said, you wake up one morning and you're like, what? I got 17 phone calls, 30 text messages, and all these followers. What? You're scrolling through, you're like, oh, there it is right there. That's what's
Patrick. That's kind of how his business blew up. Am I wrong, Patrick? And Patrick is,
we raise XL American Bulldogs, which just sounds crazy, but same thing. You know, video in our phone, needed some content, wasn't the greatest video ever.
A couple 100,000 followers later, and now he's one of the biggest breeders in the world.
Hey Trent, this is the first. When I was coming back, I know what happened and how I found you. My brother sent me an Instagram, and it said, what do you do when the turkey's hung up at 80? And then you pulled out that rifle. That was the one I was trying to remember.
That kind of reminds me. You had a little bit of and we'll cut it here. I know your time's important, but you did have I think you were kind of answering to some of the critics that were talking about you shooting at them at like 60 yards, shooting turkeys at like 60 yards. Oh, I mean, there's haters everywhere, by the way, but I thought that was funny because I mean, I hear, there's all these different things about, you're not a turkey hunter if you use TSS. I mean, we're friends with the Apex guys. I think you know who they are too. And we're just like, all these other things, we have other people who hate on us because we have a podcast. I'm sure you probably hear some of that too. And, but I mean, that was one thing, I mean, did anybody ever tell you, like, Trent, you need to, like, what are you doing? Did it ever come when you were doing this? I mean, ever have any real haters that kind of were like, God, dude, they were just hating on me?
You talking about what are you doing as far as like what you trying to be a TikTok guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One of the guys, I'm not going to say his name. I'm not even going to refer to what he does for a living. But if he watches this, he'll know what I'm talking about. He asked me, called me one day. He's a client of mine. Yeah. And he said, what's up, Mr. TikTok?
Yeah.
And he's like, so what are you doing? You trying to be TikTok famous? And I said, no, I'm just trying to just throw some stuff out there, see what happens. And he wasn't being a dick.
Yeah.
Okay. He was just jabbing as a friend.
Yeah.
But once I got a little bit of a following and he could tell that I was going to do this for a while, he called me and was like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing a video on this kind of business. I haven't had anybody that I know that, has hated on me.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, like, especially to my face.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is the comment section on like a video, like whether it's talking about shooting birds at 60 or
I've seen it. It's so funny. Yeah.
Bird or whatever, like, but I mean, that is part of growing up hunting by yourself and trying to figure it out by yourself, because I didn't know that it was a unwritten rule that, anything past 40 is you're a crappy turkey hunter. I didn't know. I knew that shooting them off the limb was frowned upon.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know in between the limb and the ground was frowned upon. And then I found that missed in Oregon, and I was like, oh, so that's kind of a no-no too.
Well, it takes a lot of skill to get up underneath them that close, Trent. I mean, be honest with you.
Oh, and look, let me tell you something. If we, I'm just gonna be honest. I like to be honest. If we were not trying to film that bird would have been shot 22 feet up in that tree and fell down. Okay, I mean, he was right there. He was right there, and I was like, my buddy Cam, he was like, dude, you can shoot that bird. And I was like, but I can't put it up on YouTube.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah.
You find out. I'll tell you what I've known it because I've been turkey hunting a long time, but especially in turkey hunting, it's like a cult, I mean, there's some people out there that we know that we're buddies with that is just so probably that said it to me, but I mean they're probably like, what are you doing? I can't. It's like almost like you're giving away a secret.
Like we're going to be the decline of the population.
They hate the Pinodies. They hate all. Well, they go home and watch it by themselves at night. YouTube Pinodi. But they don't let anybody know it, and they're usually the ones that are killing way over the limit. And they're just selfish hunters. You know what I'm saying? They're just selfish hunters.
Yeah.
But, you find that out specifically about turkey hunting. Not really. Now deer. People get weird about deer, big deer, that you got, you got them on camera and you're trying to hold it from somebody else. But turkey hunting's like that all the way around, in my opinion, from a lot of the hunters.
It is in the South, in Mississippi and Florida, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama. I think the majority of people would agree that Mississippi is like the Mecca of turkey hunting.
Yeah.
And so if you're turkey hunting in Mississippi, or if you're a Mississippi boy that's a turkey hunter, if you're posting stuff, you've got to be like perfect. You've got to do everything right, because this is where it started, baby. This is where it got big. This is if you can kill a bird in Mississippi, you can kill one anywhere. And from what I have seen, okay, that's a very controversial statement, but I've hunted 4 states: Mississippi, Oregon, West Virginia, and Kansas. And just like driving, forget the hunting, but just like driving in all these places, birds are everywhere, public and private. I've killed public birds. Every bird that we killed and shot at this year in Oregon was on public. West Virginia, we got on birds on public. I ended up killing on private. Kansas was an outfitter, so everybody's going to say that don't count. Like, it's just when you leave Mississippi, it's almost like the birds open their mouth. It's like they just go, all right, well, we're going to talk. And if you're a decent turkey hunter, I feel like that's 90% of it. If you can just hear and make moves on that bird, if you know, like, all right, well, he's gobbling and he's not sitting, or he's not moving from that point, let me get around. But here in Mississippi,
you can make a play. Yeah.
2022, I heard one bird not January, that'd be rough.
Got started a little early this year.
Rifle out, huh?
April the 7th at 1:30. I hunted 4 days a week, and April the 7th at 1:30.
Chaz's train. Sorry.
I thought that was a timer. Like, all right, let's press it up.
No.
Okay, all right. But no, like, it's down here. Yeah, I do. I believe it's harder to kill birds than probably 90% of the rest of the country.
Man, it's not even close. We just got back from Wisconsin and Nebraska, and we've been to Kansas, and we've been to Texas, and we've been to Florida, and Now, Florida wasn't easy. It wasn't nothing easy about Florida. But
Yeah.
as far as the Midwest, no, it's not even comparable. Like you said,
Mississippi
you
and
drive around, you
Alabama
see
is
them everywhere.
rough. Alabama, you're dealing with the mountains up here,
Yeah.
so you can imagine it gets pretty tough. You can use them as, you can use them to your advantage, but it's Mississippi and Alabama's tough now.
Yeah, I think what I've heard is Louisiana is probably the toughest, from what I've heard.
Because there's not as many birds. There's only certain places in Louisiana that you can really turkey hunt. I mean, a lot of it's swamp, and you can't do anything with. There's no birds.
It's kind of that way with like South Florida too.
Yeah,
trying to go get a true Osceola on public is dang near impossible. And then you got all the people that are flocking to that area to do the same thing. First week of season, it's there open before anywhere else. So pressure's out the wazoo. But I don't even know how we got on this or where I was going with this.
Well,
but
North Mississippi doesn't even have a turkey season. Some parts of North Mississippi, a lot of people don't know that. There's certain counties up there in North Mississippi that doesn't even have a season because they don't have any birds.
I did not know that. Where?
I was talking to a guy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I forget the town, but it's in between, right below Hernando and that area, I believe. There's not even a season up there. I didn't know that until I was living in Tupelo, and my buddy had a farm up there, a couple 100 acres. He's like, man, we don't even have a season. There's no birds.
Like, did not know that.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway, guys, y'all got anything else for Trent that you want to ask? Anything? I know I run my mouth the whole time. I don't ever give them a time to talk, Trent.
We're used to it.
I've enjoyed it.
No, look, Trent, man, look, we really appreciate you coming on with us. I know, but I know your time's important, and I know, like I said, you probably need. It's Tuesday, so you probably did your shooting yesterday, though. Yes, right. Yeah, so you should be good.
I'm doing my cutting today.
Keep doing what you're doing, man, because it's funny and it's entertaining and people are watching. I mean, I love it. I look forward to the next. I just watched one with a skid steer where you're talking about deer hunting out of a skid steer. I didn't know that pipe was there. That was funny to me. I about fell out when I saw that. But anyway, I could go on all day about these videos. But look, if y'all, for the audience out there who doesn't know who Trent Ellis is, look him up on Instagram. I know he's on TikTok. He's on Facebook. His name's Trent _ Ellis 21 on Instagram. I know that. That's where I follow him. But I mean, he's got a huge following and is absolutely hilarious. So go check the man out. But again, Trent, we really appreciate your time, dude. And if we can ever help you with anything, man, please feel free. You got my number. Holler at us.
Hey, well, when y'all release this thing, make sure you tag me and I'll share it. I appreciate y'all having me on here, and we'll definitely do it again. Y'all
absolutely. I might can squeeze it. I might talk you into a hunt next year. Who knows? We'll figure that out.
You a text is fine. You don't have to do much talking. Just like a text.
He says that. He says that. What is it? June the 11th. Yeah. He talks about
I'm already planning a turkey hunt.
That's right. First of March, he's gonna be like, I ain't got as many birds as I thought. I better just.
Hey, I tell everybody the same thing that I told a bunch of them that this year. I said, listen, I'm not mature enough yet, and I hadn't killed enough birds yet. You're gonna have to give me one bird down on the ground before I take you.
I understand.
Right. A couple of them I still didn't take. I was like, look, I know what I said. I'm a piece of crap. I'm sorry. I'm still hunting. Birds shut up.
It gets real in March.
That I understand completely. All of a sudden, I stop calling people around turkey season because I don't want it to accidentally come up.
That's right.
Adam, take me on. I'm like, I really want to, but I can't right now. I got to get one on the ground first.
There's nothing freer than just being like, you know what? Deep down, I am a little bit of a dick. Let's just.
It is what it is.
No, I'm not taking. Figure it out. I figured it out. Bye.
Adam lost the bet and still owes me one, but we'll roll that over today.
I do still owe you a trigger. That's
LSU's baseball team just let you down all year. I'm gonna miss you in Omaha this year, though. For real. It's not gonna be the same without you.
God, here we
go. All right, before we get off, hold on. Y'all talking about LSU? Who's LSU fans?
That'd be me right here. I grew up down there. I can't help it. I was born in back there.
Figure out Lee's studio down here. All right. What's
the Lee's studio?
What's the teams here? We got LSU.
I'm a Gator.
And who else?
Mississippi State. Patrick. I mean, Chaz is Mississippi State. Patrick's Florida.
Okay, all right. So we're all SEC guys, so we can be friends. All right.
We can make it. We'll be friends. We'll just hate on all those new guys coming in, like Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, we won't talk very much from September to November, but other than that,
no, you know what? I think that's a good
I'll tell you
idea.
what. Next year, when we're coming back from the turkey tour and we come through that town in Nebraska called Omaha, I'm just going to go ahead and get you to drop me off right there.
Yeah. Hey, do you remember what happened last year and the national championship game? Did you forget about that?
The last thing I remember was Tito's inside of a sunscreen bottle.
Let Patrick,
I was
there. Flexing right now because we all know that by week 5 they won't have a football coach at the University.
He got a point. He can't. He's got to talk now. Yeah, he's got to talk.
Hey, speaking of, I got a text earlier that the Florida at Mississippi State football game is going to be an early kickoff. It looks like.
Of course it is. They don't want to show y'all in prime time. Either one of y'all.
That'll be the last day Billy coaches.
So you think
he'll
what
retire
is
like the last 3 coaches y'all had. Y'all whack, come, y'all get Dan Mullen, y'all get all these, and then you get them about 3 years, and we'll retire you with $50 million. Just go away.
Before we go, we're on it now. We got to get on hold real quick. Trent? What's an over under for Mississippi State schedule this year? What's the over under win loss? What are we looking at?
Well, I know what the over under is, but I'm gonna say we probably won't score over 50 points all season. That's just my prediction. All right. I don't know the under. I'm gonna tell you, man. Ever since I'm telling you, okay, Dan Mullen, all right, Dan Mullen was the last really good coach we had at Mississippi State. He had a record to prove it. That's just my opinion, all right. Some state fans are like, that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. Moorhead was a joke. Okay?
He was. Absolutely.
That was.
That's our Akron's coach.
He's a great guy. God rest his soul. Mike Leach. He was smart, but I don't think he was an SEC caliber coach. I could be wrong there.
I'm with you.
But I think we got to have somebody. And here's what I will say with confidence. All right, because I'm gonna sound pretty ignorant. I'm not a good statistician when it comes to sports. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot. I just got to
swing it. Nobody is.
Opinions that don't have anything to back it for. Yeah. But here's one thing that I will say: no matter what people think about Alabama, no matter, all right, you got to say Nick Saban was one of the best football coaches in the history of the game.
Best to ever do it.
Somebody else is going to have a chance to have a dynasty run here for the next 20 years, but which I don't know about all that with the NIL coming through. That was that, and I can't stand that personally. But I wish Mississippi State would get somebody that was just like Nick Saban. Okay, that was disciplined, that was organized, and that was passionate. I think all these coaches, when you look at a bad team, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, whatever, I'm sure lack of talent is definitely, a factor. But I feel like you take a really good team that's had a couple of consecutive good seasons, okay, 3, whatever. I think you'll see a pretty disciplined coach and a pretty organized coach. If you walk into his office, he's not going to have paperwork and crap strewn everywhere. He's going to keep his staff and his players held accountable. Okay. And that's what I loved about Nick Saban. I'm not an Alabama fan. I didn't wish him death like some people, but I
hate him.
I hate the University of Alabama. I hate it. I hate.
I'm one of the few that just does it. I'm okay, and it's just because I love Nick Saban so much.
I love Nick Saban. Look, he was at LSU. I loved him. I hated him. I don't have hatred for him going to Alabama by any means. A lot of LSU people probably did, whichever kind. But everybody has nuts in their fan base.
That's what drove Saban out was you can't hold players accountable anymore.
That's it.
Just go to the next school.
Right.
You get on them too much, put them on the bench. They go, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'll give it another.
He had a process, right? That's what he talked about all the time. And he was like, don't focus on the outcome, focus on the process. And those are some of the things that I've taken that to my business. And I love the things that he's preaching. I've read his book. I love Saban. Hate the University of Alabama. Love Nick Saban. And my darn algorithm on my social media is messed up. They think I'm an Alabama fan because I watch all the Saban clips, but it's just crazy.
Well, you take LSU when they won a national title a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now Ed Orgeron, people say what they want to. I don't think he's just like the best head coach out there, but he's a dang good recruiter. And he surrounds himself with a coaching staff, or he did surround himself that season and the season before with a coaching staff that had all those qualities.
That's it.
Orgeron got knocked off. Let's be honest. He got knocked off by the NIL and the transfer portal. They opened up the transfer portal. He sent 7 first-rounders to the league, and then all of them hit the portal. So, what's he supposed to do?
I think Orgeron got knocked off by some other factors. The pitchers in the hot tub, maybe with the 26-year-old.
Lost focus a little bit, maybe.
He lost focus, I think. And
he's a Cajun.
Yeah,
Louisiana. What do people think?
Hey, work hard, play hard, right? Yeah,
that'd be like me. Them paying me all that money and doing all that stuff. You think that I'm not gonna post something every now and then that you're just like, yeah, probably shouldn't have done that, Trent. Like, well, okay,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know what? But he did, and people hate on him all the time. They're like talking. We got this radio host up here that is always like talking like he'd be the worst coach of all time. I'm like, dude, he put together one of the best football teams of all time. One of the
Absolutely.
best. Of all time. I'm not saying it's the best, but it was close if it's not.
Yep.
And let's don't.
It was the best, in my opinion, other than USC when Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart was there.
Yeah, that
was the best.
Williams, yeah,
those are the two best teams I've ever seen.
It was unbelievable.
The 08 Gators weren't very good.
Huh?
The 2008 Florida Gators weren't very good.
Are we talking about?
Hey, Pat's got a point. Okay,
Tebow. You talking about the Pouncey twins, Percy Harvin, Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Well, I was going to say we went there. Okay.
I almost made an off-color joke. I'm not going to do it. I'm just.
No, they didn't. They did enough of that on the roast of Tom Brady.
That was hilarious. My God.
Yeah, they freaking.
That was sad. God, that was good.
They smoked him, buddy. They smoked everybody that was on that stage. Smoked.
Yeah.
Freaking
Gronkowski.
That's the worst. They made fun of him being so stupid the whole time.
You could tell he was getting uncomfortable. He was so uncomfortable. He was getting mad and didn't know how to cover it up. He was trying to laugh and be like, okay, all right, it got uncomfortable there for a minute.
Then you heard Brady one time. Brady said, "Don't say that again," or something. Because they talked about that owner.
Yeah.
The owner of the Patriots. I was like,
the rubbing tub.
Yeah,
like the rubbing tub.
Yeah.
PG-13, Patrick.
You can cut it out.
Leave it in, baby. Leave it in.
Nobody's listening. They quit listening on 45 minutes.
That's right.
All right, guys. Look, we'll wrap it up, Trent. Dude, look, I enjoyed the conversation. Maybe we can have you back on during football season. It actually sounds like that might be what we're gonna. That triggered you. That's what we love to talk about too. So it's turkey hunting, college football. That's what we like.
Hey, I love if you can talk turkeys, deer, college football. All right, look.
We're gonna have a tailgate set up for that Florida Mississippi State game. That's gonna be a lot of smack talk going on.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
That's fine. That's fine. We can throw Trump in there. You need some mercy. Let's throw some felonies in there, baby. Game time, son. All right.
Heck yeah, that's right. All right. Well, look, like I said, man, dude, look, it's been fun, man. It really has. I hope to get, like I say, let's keep in touch. Maybe we can do this again, and maybe we can get together a football game, something like that. But, dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. Again, like I said, hit Trent Ellis. Go check him out on Instagram, Twitter, everything. I think he's on Twitter, TikTok. Not on Twitter, Facebook, whatever they call it. X or something now. It doesn't matter. Nobody gets on Twitter anymore. All right, man. We appreciate you coming on.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
that's
appreciate y'all.
That's a
Y'all have a
wrap.
good
See you, buddy.
All right, brother. Thank you.